What is going on, big strong gamers? Today we're going to be ranking the top 5 field upgrades in Cold War Zombies. If you haven't already, leave a like, subscribe, all that cool nonsense. Speaking of that, shout out to the big homie, Captain Knot, Soapy Eyes, Aaron William, and also GGGG. They subscribe to me, and if you do, I'll shout you out. Yes, you the big homie, and if not, I'll just do what Soapy Eyes does and squirt a bunch of soap in your eyes. On that, gamers? Let's get it. In our number 5 spot, we are going to be putting Frenzied Guard, and man, this is actually really good. And you might be wondering, oh, that's the bottom of the top. You know, I mean, that don't mean anything. Okay, this is really good, especially for boss fights and Outbreak, and also also including the Forsaken one. It's not so good in the other ones, but this one in particular, it runs really well. The thing I really do enjoy about this one the most is you can use this on any round, and all the zombies will stop to slowing speed in a little like 3-second span after it has, you know, occurred, and you're no longer in Frenzy Guard, which is pretty nice if you're in a bad situation. And you might be wondering, why don't you just pick Tesla Storm over this, right? This thing does a lot more, and granted, Tesla, you know, it is really good if you are playing like co-op. So if you are playing co-op, maybe you could switch these around, but for me, a solo player, Frenzy Guard is going to have to obviously be the better choice. And I mean, there's for a variety of reasons. I mean, this thing gives you a bunch of armor, okay? I mean, as soon as you activate it, full armor, bam, right there. And also you can make armor just by killing zombies. You will make armored, and this is actually really well if you use the Chrysalax axe in Forsaken, which, you know, it's only exclusive to this map, but hey, I mean, more armor on armor, I'll take it, right? So there's a couple other things about this as well that I do want to get into. Number 2, I mean, this thing lasts a pretty good amount of time. I'd say 10 to 15 seconds. I don't know the exact, okay? It's just good, all right? We all just know it is good, and it is a very fast charging field upgrade. It's not one of the ones that take kind of a longer time to do. So I mean, it's granted, it's not, say, like Toxic Growth, where, you know, you get it and you already have 3 charges on you, but it's still a very solid one, and definitely one I would recommend. Some people, they kind of just look over this one, and I'm not one of those players. You know, I really do enjoy this, and even though I do use Ring of Fire most of the time, this has definitely got to be one of the better ones in terms of solo playing. It gets you out of a lot of bad situations, and granted, I don't think you can die with Frenzy Guard. Like, there's just no way you can die with it unless you're really bad, you know. But you know, if you're using Frenzy Guard, you probably got some experience with field upgrades, and you don't need Ring of Fire, but it is really good nonetheless. I mean, you literally kill zombies when they hit you. They just hit you with it, and you're good. They'll die. You don't have to worry about them. And granted, you know, if you run out of armor, just go kill some more zombies. You know, that's all you got to really do with this thing. It is really fun to play with. Definitely one of the ones that are underrated, I would say, unfortunately. But I mean, hey, Frenzy Guard, we love that big homie. He does a lot of good things, and you know, some other things I'm probably forgetting about, but you know, that's just how it is, to be honest. But in that, gamers, let's get into the number 4 spot. For our number 4 spot, we have Healing Aura, and you know, it is pretty good, don't get me wrong. I mean, it's all right. You know, it's mainly for co-op play. I know I said I am a solo player, but when you got Healing Aura on and you got a good teammate running it, it's a good day. Let's be honest here. We've all went down during an Easter egg, and we're halfway across the map. Someone doesn't have stamina, blah, 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 blah. You know how this goes, all right? One of these pop off, bam, back up in the game. It is really good. I mean, overall, you know, you do recover quite a bit of health, and you know, you can get revived with it when you're on the ground, keep all your perks, yada. But what makes this thing really good is co-op play. I mean, granted, you're not going to be really using this thing in solo, so solo players that might be disagreeing a little bit on this, which I understand. You know, co-op, we're thinking about co-op right now. I really do enjoy this because it's good if you're playing with bad players. It's more so like it just eliminates a nuisance, sort of like you're playing with friends, you know, they play multiplayer, they play Warzone, you know, they don't really play zombies, they're just playing it because, you know, you just don't want to play Warzone. You're like, all right, come on, let's just play it. And they're like, all right, fine, you use this bad boy, you know, you're not going to be struggling as bad. It's really nice for kind of novice players, but if you're not dealing with them, it's kind of useless, because usually, you know, if you're playing with good players, you don't gotta revive them, and you know, you're not gonna be really popping this thing just to heal, you know, unless things get really tough. But let's get into number 3. So for our number 3, we have Toxic Growth, and this is really useful in co-op and solo, mainly for camping strategies. And I mean, this thing, I mean, you get 3 charges with this. They last long. You can even equip other field upgrades and they'll still be around. Like, you can ultimately just keep swapping them back and forth to have 2 field upgrades at the same time. And this literally shakes hands. Shakes bare hands with Ring of Fire. I mean, if you're playing a 2-player lobby, 3-player, 4-player, it's good to have more Ring of Fires, but if you have a toxic growth, oh my god, it will save you so much. I mean, granted, the zombies will get through, and, you know, you're gonna have to kill them, but this kind of activates as a barrier. What really makes toxic growth good is the higher rounds. I mean, you're gonna be able to slow super sprinters down quite a bit, and as you can see, just with insta kill, it's free kills ultimately. If you put this in a really good camping spot, you're not gonna die. You get 3 charges. They charge fairly quickly, and even if you have 2 active, you can't have 3 active, which is, you know, a little funky. You could still charge them while the others are active, unlike all the other field upgrades, which makes toxic growth really useful if you're trying to optimize as much kills as possible, and, you know, just obtain as much bar meat, I don't know what you call it, you know, that little thing in the right hand corner, that thing. All right, really good field upgrade, but there are a couple bit better, but this is kind of like the assistant, you know. He's like, he's there, he's gonna help you if you know, if you're running this thing. Now on the other hand, we have Ethereal Shroud, and it's really good. I mean, it's really mainly useful for solo players, speedrunners, and that's what really makes it good. I mean, if you watch any speedrun in Cold War, I'm not going to make this just about speedrunning, just bear me out. They're always going to be running this with stamina. I mean, if you run or slide with this thing with PhD slider, makes it so good. I mean, PhD slider, you can slide so far with it, and, you know, Ethereal Shroud, 8 seconds, you get to run around, charge up, like, super sprinting. It's really good, especially, you know, if you're playing solo. If you're not a big fan of Ring of Fire, definitely I would recommend this. It is really good. It is definitely get me out of a situation card. It's like Frenzy Guard, but you get 2 charges. It lasts long. No, Frenzy Guard lasts longer, but I mean, you get a bunch of extra speed. You can run halfway across the map with this thing. So I mean, you know, you get a little bit of an advantage right there. It's really nice and really useful. I mean, there isn't one moment in the time where you're using this thing and it feels like a waste, because although you might be having it like kind of just in the back pocket, just waiting for a moment, it's perfect for those moments, and it will always get you out of a bad situation. And they have patched it to where you won't fall out of the map and kill yourself with it. So if you kind of been living under a rock, there's some news for you. I mean, it is really solid of a tier thing, and it has a lot of good tiers, and all of them are definitely worth it. I mean, the super sprinting, the double charge, the leap forward, all of it really worth it, and it provides to be a very good field upgrade. Granted, it's kind of selfish to use this thing in co-op, but if you're playing with good players, I definitely would recommend it as well. But it's more of a solo based kind of field upgrade that you can use, and if you don't want to use it, you know, cool, but it definitely provides a big advantage over all the other ones under than this one, and I would recommend it even if you want to run Ring of Fire. I mean, each field upgrade is for each kind of personality, and, you know, if you use this or Ring of Fire, you're not going to be at a disadvantage from one or the other. It's that good. I love it. Now for the last one, Ring of Fire. You know, every time I make one of these videos, I swear I feel like it's just so unoriginal. But a lot of things change with field upgrades in terms of patch notes, but just Ring of Fire, it'll never be bad. Like, I guarantee you, when Vanguard comes out, I'm going to make some more videos like this, and you know what's going to be #1? Ring of Fire. I'm about to start leaving them out just because it'll always be #1 and #1 all the time. I mean, this thing boosts damage. It's better than a double, not double kill, but a double tap. I mean, this thing, literally, I would rather have this than double tap any other day of the week. I mean, this thing absolutely destroys enemies. You can kill enemies super fast, like 2 or 3 bullets on high rounds, okay? Everybody runs this for a particular reason, and, you know, granted, you have to camp, so if you're not really a camper, boo-hoo, cry about it. But it is really solid, and it is really nice to use because, well, let's be honest here, most of the weapons are pretty alright, and the wonder weapons are worse than that. So, you know, it's kind of essential if you're running a high round to run this kind of, you know, weapon. I think there's only 1 trap in this whole entire game, and it's Unforsaken. So, you know, I don't even think it does that much anyway, but definitely for sure. I mean, it isn't, you don't need it on the lower rounds. It's more so like once you get to the higher rounds, and if you're kind of like camping and doing that kind of strategy, definitely go for it then. But I think we all get why Ring of Fire is the giant beast it is. I mean, you get stored ammo, you don't have to reload, so much damage, insta kill ultimately, bunch of points. It's amazing. But gamers, if you haven't already, leave a like, subscribe, all the cool nonsense. Check out the links in the description. It really helps me out. And if you made this far, you deserve a cookie and I love you. But I'll see you guys in the next one.